Good evening, Belize. It's Thursday and you're watching News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. Here's what's making headlines tonight. Tragedy strikes in Hattieville as Floralia bus fatally hits a 16-year-old student, sparking renewed concerns over road safety. Meanwhile, there's relief in San Jose Socots. 13-year-old Lizzie Suntekun has been found safe and is back home with her family after 3 tense days missing. In Belize City, the NTUCB brings together 9 unions in a rare show of solidarity, calling out the Briceño administration over unresolved issues. On the political front, Tracy Tager Panton and the UDP face fallout after a failed NPC meeting. And pet owners take note. New World Screwworm cases are on the rise. We've got these stories and more coming up in the next 60 seconds. Stay with us.
From humble beginnings to the nation's #1 poultry provider, join Quality Poultry Products as we celebrate the journey with a grand motorcade through the Old Capitol. This Saturday, June 21st at 11 a.m. There will be music, giveaways, and fun for the entire family all along the route. We start at Coney Drive, Princess Margaret Drive, and across the Belcan Bridge, straight down Central American Boulevard, down Mahogany Street, then going left into Western Avenue, another left into George Price Highway by Lord Ridge, up to the Hand Monument by Twins Gas Station, then turning right into Central American Boulevard, down Cesar Ridge Road, over Yabra Bridge, East Collect Canal, then all the way down Vernon Street by Fish Market Bridge, down Vernon Street right into Youth for the Future Drive, over Bell China Bridge, and finally landing at the foot of the bridge beside Quality Poultry Products North Front Street branch. Come out, Belize, and celebrate 50 years of quality.
Welcome back. Tonight, heartbreak grips the Hattieville community following the tragic loss of a young life along the George Price Highway. 16-year-old Tyrell Cardenas, a student of Gwen Lizarraga High School, known for his faith and love for his community, was struck and killed by a Floralia bus while riding his bicycle. The impact threw him onto the pavement, causing fatal injuries. Tyrell's sudden death has left his family and neighbors in mourning, and it's also reignited public concern over road safety and the responsibility of drivers on our highways. News 5's Brittany Gordon has more on this devastating incident and the growing calls for accountability.
Tragedy struck just before 11 this morning near mile 16 on the George Price Highway. 16-year-old Tyrell Cardenas, a young student riding a bicycle, lost his life in a devastating collision with a Floralia bus. The impact threw him onto the pavement, causing fatal injuries that have left a community in mourning. As the police continue their investigation, Assistant Superintendent Stacey Smith shares more details about the heartbreaking incident.
Police have issued a notice of intended prosecution to Yorde Salazar, the driver of a U-Turn bus belonging to Floralia Bus Company that was involved in a fatal traffic accident which claimed the life of 16-year-old Tyrell Caleb Cardenas, a Belizean student of Hattieville Village, Belize District. The accident occurred at approximately 10:30 a.m. today, 19 June 2025, between miles 16 and 17 on the George Price Highway. Initial investigation revealed that Cardenas was riding a bicycle from the direction of Hattieville to Belize City, and it is alleged that he abruptly made a left turn onto the highway into the part of the bus that was traveling to Belize City when the fatal collision occurred. Police investigation continues.
Tyrell Cardenas was on his way to the store when he was hit. Longtime family friend Therese Jacobs was one of the last people to see Tyrell alive.
He said, Nana, I'm going to the store, go buy something. I said, okay, well, buy something for me. And he went to the store. So I was here, didn't expect, someone run to my gate. And he said, Miss Therese, do you know Tyrell? I said, yes. I said, he just went to the store and he just did his hand. When I wrote there, I see the crowd and I said, no, But I didn't expect it.
Just hours before the fatal incident, Tyrell was spending time with his friends from church, enjoying the kind of carefree moments every teenager deserves. He was expected home later that day to attend a graduation with his family. But sadly, he never made it. His mother, still reeling from the loss, says Tyrell was adored by everyone who knew him, a kind soul whose absence is already deeply felt.
My baby. Kind, loving, humble. Now a humble person. Now everybody love her for kind of sweet. Everybody the auntie and uncle. So when he see how they call a lot of love and kiss. Me love. That's how he name for me love.
As the Hattieville community continues to mourn the tragic loss of 16-year-old Tyrell Cardenas, his mother is speaking out, not just in grief, but in a call for change. She says Tyrell wasn't a reckless rider. He was careful, always looking both ways before crossing the highway. Now, she's urging the traffic department to step up their enforcement of the road traffic safety laws. hoping no other family has to endure the pain she's now facing. Her plea adds to the growing public concern over accountability on our roads.
Traffic need to get down on their buses and their bus driver because they not got what care. You know how much people hand life they have in their hand every day? Lot of people. This is not the first time. My son is not the only one who get knocked down there. But 5 more villager people 40 will get knocked down right there. That's a spot sake a careless driver. When they come around the curb, they come underneath speed. So they no got time to stop.
The third form student was an active member of his community and church. Jacobs described Terrell as having an overflowing amount of love to share.
He joined me after with devotion and he said, Nana, he said, I have 2 mothers. I said, He said, I have my mom and I have you. I said, you have your mom and you have your Nana. And he laughed and he put his hands around me and he kissed me, And now that brings back strong memory to me because of who he is. And words, some of his last words was, Nana, I love you.
Although Marilee is grieving, she is determined to be brave for her 2 small children and work through the heartbreak together.
Just hurt. No, you back your baby in your belly for 9 months. You go through the pain. You go through the pain as a single mother to raise your baby, and somebody just called take her away like that. It hurt, but I have to be strong for my next 2 babies. Kinda not only T1. I have to be strong for the next 2.
Terrell's death dealt an indescribable blow to his loved ones, but his family is finding comfort in Terrell's dedication to his faith and the years he spent spreading kindness and love to all who knew him. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Several witnesses provided reports of the incident. It's the kind of news every parent hopes for. A missing child found safe. 13-year-old Lizzie Suntekun is back with her family today after 3 agonizing days of uncertainty. She vanished on Monday afternoon after leaving school, and for days her loved ones had only one clue: a white pickup truck seen near the school. In a desperate search for answers, Lizzie's father took matters into his own hands, and his determination paid off. He tracked down the vehicle in August Pine Ridge, leading police to a shocking discovery. Lizzie was safe, but in the company of a relative who never informed her parents. Tonight we hear from police and Lizzie's grandmother, Oralia Rosado, as the family breathes a sigh of relief.
On Wednesday, 18 June 2025 at approximately 11 o'clock p.m., police visited a residence in Guinea Grass Village, Orange Rock District, where Lizzie Suntekun, a 13-year-old student of Guatemalan nationality, was located. Suntekun, who attends a school in the Cayo district, was reported missing on Monday, 16 June 2025, after she had not returned for the afternoon session of her classes. Police have since placed Suntekun, who is in apparent good health, in the care of the Department of Human Services. 3 persons have been detained in connection to this incident, and a file will be forwarded to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution for their directives.
Yesterday, we speaking about the car. My son went to Agas Pine Ridge. The same person that I was saying in the media that was the aunt of the lady, of the mom. She was live in Agas Pine Ridge, and the police take her, and she's saying, no, I don't have it. But then somebody sent a picture of her daughter, and the police went to see the daughter, but she said no. But my son arrived in Agas Pine Ridge. He found the car, and then he went to report to the police.
Based on his report, police went to the location where...
Yes, I think so, because when at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I called him saying, where are you? And he tell me, I am going back, ma'am. I have already see the car. I have already report. The police will do his work now.
Now in the care of the Human Services Department. Coming up, Cabinet to review new union proposals. More when we return.
The total span of the entire structure is approximately 25 meters, and it also has an overall width of 12.5 meters, which includes 2 lanes and also 2 pedestrian footpaths of 2 meters each. The design span for this bridge is basically 75 to 100 years, so that's the expectation of its life.
It's $2.4 million to complete the bridge, and we also did the boat ramp. We had to incur a little bit additional expense because we did the pontoon to be able to allow the residents to be able to cross while we are building. Infrastructure is one of the key elements for economic development. It allows people to generate more income. It does so many things. It will open the whole area for free flow of traffic. It gives you safety, and we are allowing, because of the height of the bridge, we are allowing now traffic of boats underneath. It will enhance the tourism product. It betters the quality of life of the neighborhood. And that's what we want to do. We are here to serve the people, and these projects is a symbol of that.
I wish to announce the renaming of the new bridge, not in a spirit of resentment towards our colonial history, but to honor an individual who truly reflected the country's identity, aspirations, and progress.
It's good, I would say good, and people will be happy to see a new bridge.
I'm very, very elated that this bridge has finally been realized for the people of today. It will change a lot. We'll move better, we'll move faster, and some people might even stop and take pictures because they're a pretty bridge, they're a nice bridge. I like the bridge.
From the minute I heard about it, something that I personally wanted done, this is a welcome news for Punta Gorda.
Welcome to Brody's Pharmacy,
where our trained and licensed pharmacists have been serving the public for over 100 years.
Thank you. Brody's Pharmacy has the widest selection of vitamins and supplements that I need.
It's our mission to supply all your prescription needs. We take pride in our fast, friendly, and professional prescription services.
I am amazed at how professional these pharmacists are.
We are agents of all leading brands such as Fitzroy, Johnson, Denk, Carlisle, Quality Choice, Sophia, Pfizer, Dynarix, and so much more.
They have the highest quality medication in the country. We keep coming to Brody's Pharmacy because of the extra care and attention we always receive here.
Excuse me, sir, can I help you with that?
Thank you, young man. See where we shop at Brody's Pharmacy?
We have 3 convenient locations in Belmopan, Belize City, Albert Street, and 2.5 miles Philip Bolson Highway. We also offer our wholesale services on all our medication. Come on over to Brody's Pharmacy for service, value, and satisfaction. Your health is our priority.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Electricity Limited is pleased to announce the holding of its 2024 annual general meeting at the BEL corporate headquarters on 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway, Belize de Belize, at 3 p.m. on Thursday, June 19th, 2025. For registration purposes, shareholders are advised to bring along a valid identification, such as a social security card. Shareholders who are unable to attend may choose, and we encourage you to exercise this right, to appoint your proxy, or you can simply appoint the company's CEO or the corporate secretary as your proxy to represent you at the AGM. Proxy forms can be submitted at the BEL corporate headquarters on 2.5 miles Philip Wilson Highway or via email at shares@bel.com.bz no later than 5 p.m. on June 17th, 2025. For more information or assistance, contact BEL's Securities Officer at 227-0954 extension 1512.
This summer, get ready to feel the heat, the beat, and the energy of Belize like never before. It's Summerfest 2025. Performances from Belize's most talented kids. Come and enjoy food that sizzles and cold drinks for the kids. Cultural displays and loads of giveaways. Join us at Memorial Park in Belize City. See you all at 6:30 a.m. on June 20th for Summerfest 2025. Where summer comes alive!
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Carnival, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
So here, Panthers the call of the shark pen. Now, be careful, cause I know cat afraid for water and the sharks will eat them up. All happening on Saturday, June 21st. Bring out the entire family in the BPBL. The San Pedro Tiger Sharks face off the Punta Gorda Panthers inside the Belize Civic Center. Doors open at 7 p.m. and game starts at 9 p.m. After party at Shishad. Sponsors include
the hottest league. You
can feel.
It was a powerful show of unity today in Belize City, as the National Trade Union Congress of Belize brought together a coalition of voices not seen in years. At least 9 unions packed the room and 7 took the mic, each one laying out the challenges their members face, from stevedores and university staff to teachers and public servants. But before the individual concerns were aired, NTUCB President Ella Waite set the tone, delivering a strong message to the Briceño administration. Stop the attacks on union leaders. It was a press conference that made it clear Belize's unions are standing together, and they're ready to be heard.
The government of Belize must immediately cease the politicization of actions taken by union leaders and put an end to the personal attacks on their integrity. Union leaders are elected representatives of working people, not political pawns. The attempt to undermine their character for political gain not only weakens the democratic voice of workers, but also erodes public trust in fair labor practices. This pattern of scapegoating is a dangerous distraction from the real issues facing our workforce and our workers, and an attempt to an affront to the principles of justice, dignity, and collective bargaining. Responsible leadership demands respectful dialogue, not character assassination. That's right. If this does not stop immediately, NTUCB will be submitting a case to the ILO Standards Application Committee. Basta enough.
The proposed 4% salary adjustment from the government isn't sitting well with the unions. And now we know why. President of the Belize National Teachers Union, Nadia Kaliz, is raising red flags over the fine print. According to the union, accepting that 4% bump would also mean agreeing to a contributory pension scheme and pushing retirement to age 65. It's a package deal the unions say they simply can't accept. Here's more on what's fueling their firm rejection.
I want to say to educators in this room that early retirement is 50, voluntary retirement is 55, and mandatory retirement is 60. And I'm touching the educators for right now. Now, if this rule changes, then you're looking at that voluntary being removed to everything being mandatory at 60. But one of the reasons why we disagree with the blanket 60-year-old that they are proposing, it is because different employment or different jobs require certain physical and mental capabilities. So imagine a soldier at 60 years old. They need certain stamina. And what exists in Belize today, what currently exists in Belize today is that our military personnel, they have a different retirement rate or age. They have a different pension act. So it differs. So what we need government to say to us, are we going to put everybody at 60? What is going on? And this is the reason why we object to contributory pension being the condition under which we are going to accept any salary advance. Or adjustment, I must say, salary adjustment. Now, as Sister Sharon said, we don't know if it's a scheme, we don't know if it's a fund, we don't know. What we do know is that if we're talking contributions, we don't want our monies in the government consolidated revenue fund.
At today's NTUCB press conference, Public Service Union President Dean Flowers came ready with receipts. Ahead of the event, Flowers did some digging into government spending, and what he found is raising eyebrows. From building rentals to vehicle purchases and even housing and entertainment allowances. The numbers tell a story that's hard to ignore. While he admits some of these costs are necessary, Flowers says the amounts being spent raise more questions than answers. And when it comes to office space rentals, he's calling for transparency. Here's what he had to say.
Topping the list for the highest monthly rental is the Immigration and Nationality Department, which falls under the Prime Minister's ministry. And they're paying $22,000 to a certain landowner. And we must ask ourselves, is that the office in Belize City? Is that the office in Belmopan? And if it's the office in Belmopan, I believe that we would have already, which is a much more beautiful building, if I can say that, compared to the office in Belize City. I can tell you that that building, the price of that, the monthly rent for that building was never $22,000 under the previous administration. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, I know we have to pay a little bit of house rent for the Cuban brigades and so on, but they are renting a building somewhere for $18,000. And we need to know who is getting that money. The Ministry of Public Utilities, $17,000 a month. This is monthly. This is monthly. Yes. The Ministry of Finance and Home Affairs, I guess they're combined in there. We see a contract here for $15,800. Ministry of Human Development, they're paying $15,000. Blue Economy, they're paying $14,000 for one of their buildings. $14,000. Ministry of Rural Transformation, $14,000. And this is the shocker. The Ministry of Youth also has one here for $14,000. I'm trying to figure out which building house the Ministry of Youth that is worth $14,000. And there are others for some $12,000 and $10,000. I see the Attorney General here for $12,000. I assume that's the one in Belmopan, which is a very beautiful building and very spacious. A Blue Economy again for another $10,000.
We also heard from Sharon Fraser, president of the Association of Public Service Senior Managers, who laid out a timeline of the joint union negotiating team's talks with the government. According to Fraser, the unions have never been rigid about the 8.5% salary cut. But what they can't accept are the conditions tied to the government's latest proposal. She says it's not just about numbers, it's about fairness. Here's more from her remarks at today's press conference.
They indicated that after this long speech about being responsible and we need to look after everybody, not just public sector workers, we got to the point where we were offered 4%. No, it increased by 4% in October this year, and the other 4.5% in the following 2 years. So 3 years, nothing changed.
So inflation was stopped?
Yeah. Well, that's what was the offer, and the issue with the increment remained the same, right? But what caught our eyes was the fact that in the letter and in bold capital letters it said subject to, and I heard, and I have respect for the Minister of State, and I heard him on another media house saying that in fact I got it wrong, because if you're putting subject to in capital letters, it is to catch my attention, and it's to tell me that everything that follows it depends on. But maybe I didn't, different law school I gone, different school I gone, maybe, because he said that is not the case, that in fact, whatever, it was subject to pension reform. So to get any of the things above, which was the 4 and the 4.5 and the increments, it was subject to pension reform.
The call for pension justice continues at Belize's flagship hospital. The Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital Authority Workers Union is once again urging the government to establish a pension scheme for its members, over 300 of whom face retirement without one. We've been following this story closely, and tonight there's a new development. The union has officially rejected the government's latest proposal, delivered just hours after their June 5th meeting. Now, all eyes are on a second letter from the government, one that could determine the next steps in this ongoing fight for financial security.
Immediately, the night of June 5th, our union met with our membership. We tabled what was presented to us. Right after the meeting, we wrote a letter to the chair, copy to all the government officials that was a part of the meeting, to state our dissatisfaction with the letter written by the chairman and our condemnation to such letter. It was promised to us that they will go back to the Prime Minister and the other counterparts of the government to reconsider the 4% and come back to us June 20th, which is tomorrow, with their reconsideration of the 4%. So we are waiting for tomorrow, 11:59 p.m. Now, let me make this clear. At no point on time did our members give us a mandate to remove our planned tier action, industrial action from the table. We still continue our work to rule at this time and wearing of our t-shirts. Tomorrow can determine whether we move forward with the other affairs.
Former Minister of Education Francis Fonseca says the unions have rejected the latest offer, but there's still hope for a resolution. With new proposals heading to Cabinet next week, Fonseca is urging a return to the table and a move away from disruptive actions like airport closures, which he says hurt everyone, from public officers to the tourism industry. Here's more on what he had to say.
The unions, as you know, have rejected the last offer made by the government of Belize. Our negotiating team, the cabinet subcommittee, met earlier this week to discuss, certain proposals that we want to make to cabinet. We will be making those proposals to cabinet on Tuesday of next week, and based on that discussion with cabinet and whatever instructions we are given by the cabinet, then we will be scheduling a meeting with the junta for us to move the process forward in terms of whatever instructions we are given by cabinet. So we're very hopeful that based on our own discussions, that those proposals will be well received, that they will be met with good faith, and that we will have an opportunity for an early resolution of this matter. I have always maintained that we have in place a structure and a mechanism for the resolution of these disputes. We have always been able to dialogue around the table. In my view, it is very unfortunate, very disappointing that the unions have moved away from the table and are not, resolving these issues in good faith, in a respectful way around the table. So I think, certainly I think the efforts to close or disrupt activities at the airport, that cannot be acceptable to anyone. That is not in the interest of anybody. It's not in the interest of teachers, public officers. It's not in the interest of the tourism industry.
After the break, leader of the opposition, Tracy Panton, responds to attacks over union meeting. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
support 1,500 individual producers, 120 groups, and MSMEs.
Today we commence a first disbursement of almost $1.5 million to a total of 549 farmers. These farmers have all met the selection criteria and will each be issued a first portion of $2,000 to prepare equipment and agriculture inputs that align with sustainable practices. Once this finance has been satisfactorily used, a second portion of the same amount will be issued to the farmers.
I was praying to be chosen to get this grant.
I'm a beekeeper, so I will purchase more beehives so I could grow more.
This financial support definitely will move me forward and faster to accomplish my farmer's dream.
We thank you for all the hard work and the dedication for continue to put healthy, nutritious food on our table.
Imparcialidad.
Este es el término utilizado.
Hemos estado haciendo el trabajo como organización.
Y tus noticias en español.
Están en aguas beliceñas, entonces esta bandera se queda aquí.
Sintoniza Canal 5 cada viernes a las 7 de la noche.
Tenemos que resolver los grandes problemas de este país.
Su voz importa, su acción cuenta.
Transfusión sanguínea, elementos que indican un deterioro evidente del estado de salud.
Somos Noticiero 5 semanal.
Perdió la vida en un heroico intento de proteger a su hermano. El Tribunal de Magistrados de la ciudad de Belice se paralizó. La policía está investigando 2 asesinatos separados.
Tu fuente de información.
St. Catherine has changed the game. We've gone cashless with Digital Wallet. Now grabbing a bite in the cafeteria is a whole new experience. Who needs cash? We just pay with Digital Wallet. And all our accounts are linked directly to our ID cards. It's quick, safe, and super easy.
Download and try DigiWallet today.
Set trends. Keep it cashless with DigiWallet.
Let us help you to empower your school with DigiWallet. Streamline payments, elevate efficiency.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
KT
KTV The Remix Season 7 is back, and we're looking for the next superstar.
If you got the voice, you got what it takes to own the stage,
then step up and show us what you've got at the official KTV The Remix Season 7 audition.
right here at the GBM Studios on Coney Drive, the 21st and the 22nd of June, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Whether you're a powerhouse vocalist, a smooth crooner, or a soulful performer,
your turn to shine under the lights right here to remix your future.
the winner walks away with $10,000, prizes, and bragging rights as Belize's next top talent.
Only the best make it to the list. Will it be you? KTV, the remix, season 7. It's bigger.
It's bolder.
It's awesome. Let
the remix begin.
Just 3 weeks ago, Prime Minister John Bersenio quietly introduced what could become one of the most controversial pieces of legislation in recent memory, the 13th Amendment Bill. On the surface, it's about tightening the rules around declaring a state of emergency to tackle crime. But beneath that calm explanation, a storm is brewing. Union leaders are sounding the alarm, and the opposition is calling it downright sinister. Why now? Well, the timing is raising eyebrows. The bill comes hot on the heels of a high court ruling that slammed a 2020 state of emergency as unlawful. And now NTUCB Senator Glenville Dennison is weighing in.
One teacher teach me in a primary school that when you lose the high court, you got a court of appeal. And then after court of appeal, you got a CCJ. The teacher never teach me that when you lose the high court, you're going to change the constitution to make it suit you. So that's where we are with the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment is saying, hey, yo, we recognize that we failed. We recognize that legal recourse by virtue of appeal will not likely be successful because there's no evidence that you could take to the Court of Appeal that would convince those people that the SOE was properly in order, And if you do convince them, the law in the Caribbean is very clear about when you trigger SOE and the criteria. So when you go to the CCJ without any evidence, because you can't add new evidence now, you can't change the game now. You can't say, oh, sorry, we need for giving you the insight we never given you at the High Court. You can't do that. So when they would have gone to the CCJ would have ruled it how they saw it. But I think they don't see that game. You don't need law degree to realize what would have happened there. So they say we're going to supermajority, let's change the law. And this is what frightens me. This is why I started with that little prose. Because today the proposal is to change the law to ratify the SOE actions. But that can be a slippery slope.
From the union halls to the halls of Parliament, the 13th Amendment is stirring up serious debate. This afternoon in Belize City, opposition heavyweight Tracy Panton stepped up to the mic, leading a press conference to tackle what she called pressing national concerns. But the spotlight quickly turned to the controversial amendment. Opposition Senator Sheena Pitts didn't hold back either, accusing the Bersenio administration of trying to lower the bar for declaring a state of emergency.
I said before, government is talentless. They cannot solve the crime problem. Instead, they are codifying the ability to suspend fundamental rights and freedoms guised as prevention and control of crime. You hear that? 2, they openly, through this amendment, through legislation, accept that the state of emergencies that they imposed on Belizean people were unlawful and not consistent with the Constitution. So since the court ruling, then the hurry go change the Constitution. They say the two rulings are uncertain. You know what you do when you're unhappy about a decision from the court? You appeal. Go through the process that we have for appeal. But what does this bill intend to achieve? Because information is power. The Belizean public needs to know what is in this bill. They are creating new and lower thresholds for what constitutes a state of emergency. That is now the Governor General will need to be satisfied, simply satisfied, on advice from a National Security Council on reasonable grounds that for public safety or public order in a specified area and for preventing, detecting, or controlling crime in that area, a state of emergency exists. Now, what this bill is saying is that when that is declared, it will be declared for 1 month in the first instance by the GG, but that it can be extended by resolution of the National Assembly for up to 12 months. Now, think of this. It takes a National Security Council to determine whether or not a state of emergency exists. Go to the GG and present that to her so that she can be satisfied to make such a declaration. But to extend it, the National Assembly and the supermajority could just say, yeah, it still exists. We extend it another month, another 3 months, another 6 months, up to a year.
Back to today's press conference, where the political heat wasn't just about policy. We asked Leader of the Opposition, Tracy Panton, to weigh in on a growing controversy. A series of ads aimed at discrediting union leaders. Panton herself has become a target in the latest wave of productions, following a recent sit-down she had with a few union representatives. So what does she make of it all? Here's what she had to say.
In my view, in our view, it is unnecessary, it is uncalled for, it is an attempt to intimidate, it is an attempt to cast aspersions against leaders in our country, from political leaders, church leaders, union leaders, who seek to defend the rights of citizens. Who forgot when the now Prime Minister put on his green t-shirt and got in the front of the line and marched with the teachers and promised them everything and the kitchen sink when he and his team became the government. And he will tell you oftentimes in the House, if you listen to the House meetings, how much he loves teachers because his mother and his wife served in that profession. And so I think that to use state resources to try and derail and try and to detract from the real issues facing this country and people are experiencing really ought to stop. It will not derail the discussions we are having with the unions. They can scream and holler, but we will hold this administration to account.
And while the headlines have been dominated by union demands and government responses, we took the conversation a step further, asking opposition leader Tracy Panton where she stands on the hot topic of tax hikes. Her response? Not so fast. Panton says before the Bricenu administration even thinks about raising taxes, it needs to take a hard look at how it's managing the country's finances and where it can boost revenue without burdening Belizeans. Here's how she broke it down.
Absolutely not. We're not there yet. We must fix what is broken. We must stop the bloated contracts. We have to minimize the travel. I remember at one point under the Barrow administration, we were told You only go on absolutely necessary travel, because what happens here at country must take precedence. The needs of the people must be placed first. When are we going to get, as my colleague on my right said earlier, when are we going to get an accounting for the $54 million we floated as a bond, investing the futures of tourism? When are we going to know how those monies are spent and what impact those projects have had on our tourism economy and, by extension, our wider economy? These are critical questions, and we can't raise taxes until we're able to fix the system. The kind of hemorrhaging that continues, for example, at the Customs Department, the fact that we don't collect taxes at the Lands Department. There are lots of areas that require greater scrutiny and certainly trying to plug those loopholes before we talk about increasing taxes.
The Ministry of National Defense and Border Security is clearing the air after rumors began circulating about salary cuts for members of the Belize Defense Force, BDF. The ministry says those claims are simply not true. A recent memo from the Ministry of Finance sparked confusion, but officials now explain it was part of an administrative fix, not a pay cut. The goal? To make sure all BDF salaries, promotions, and increments match the official 2019 pay scale, which has been in effect since June of that year. Here's what you need to know. No BDF member will see a salary cut. No one will have to repay any Passover payments. Some soldiers were mistakenly placed on the wrong pay scale points. This correction fixes that. There won't be any back pay for those past errors. And there's some good news, too. Starting July 2025, BDF members will receive 2 new allowances: the Jungle and Maritime Allowance and the Bush Allowance, retroactive from May 2024. When we return, Belize ramps up response as screwworm cases climb.
To properly serve families and children, the court requires accurate reports, social workers who understand the importance of law and its legal requirements. Without continued training for social officers, we will have failed our society at large.
We begin a 1-week training session to reflect on one of the most powerful tools in the field of social work, the Social Inquiry Report, or the SIR. Social workers on the front lines of Belize's child protection and juvenile justice systems carry the responsibility to inform and guide the decisions of the judiciary with compassion, professionalism, and evidence-based insight. An incomplete or biased report can have life-altering consequences, but a well-written, objective, and thorough SIR can change the trajectory of a child's life. In every social inquiry report, there is a chance to rewrite a child's story, not with fiction, but with understanding, not with judgment, but with justice.
In Belize, change isn't just coming, it's already here. When people have tools, knowledge, and power, they build the future they want. This is what a game-changing partnership looks like. Equal, lasting, and led by the next generation. From greener choices to inclusive growth and innovation, Belize and the European Union are shaping tomorrow together. Every action, every voice, every breakthrough, it's all a part of the same story. Game changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU and Belize to discover the game changers.
Belize is blessed with incredible beauty, from our lush rainforests to our crystal clear seas. But this beauty is under threat. Plastic pollution is choking our oceans, harming our wildlife, and putting our communities at risk. This World Environment Day, let's stand together to beat plastic pollution. Say no to single-use plastics. Choose sustainable options. Support businesses that care. Together, we can keep Belize clean, green, and plastic-free. Let's do this for us and for the future.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
KTV The Remix Season 7 is back, and we're looking for the next superstar.
If you got the voice, you've got what it takes to own the stage,
then step up and show us what you've got at the official KTV The Remix Season 7 audition.
Right here at the GBM Studios on Coney Drive, the 21st and the 22nd of June, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Whether you're a powerhouse vocalist, a smooth crooner, or a soulful performer,
your turn to shine under the lights right here to remix your future.
The winner walks away with $10,000, prizes, and bragging rights as Belize's next top talent.
Only the best make it to the list. Will it be you? KTV The Remix Season 7. It's bigger.
It's bolder.
It's awesome.
Let the remix begin.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
This summer, get ready to feel the heat, the beat, and the energy of Belize like never before. It's Summerfest 2025. Performances from Belize's most talented kids. Come and enjoy food that sizzles and cold drinks for the kids. Cultural displays and loads of giveaways. Join us at Memorial Park in Belize City. See you all at 6:30 a.m. on June 20th for Summerfest 2025. Where summer comes alive!
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Carazal, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
Belize is on high alert as the New World Screwworm continues to spread across the country. First confirmed back in January, the parasitic outbreak has now led to 160 reported cases, affecting communities from the deep south in Toledo to as far north as Orange Walk. Chief Veterinary Officer Dr. Roxana Alvarez shared the latest update, revealing that 35 communities in Toledo alone have been impacted, along with dozens more in Cayo, Stan Creek, Belize, and Orange Walk districts. While the Ministry of Agriculture has launched an aggressive surveillance and treatment campaign, new cases in Orange Walk over the past 2 weeks have prompted ongoing investigations.
New World Screwworm was confirmed in Belize in early January 2025. Since then, we have had a cumulative total of 160 confirmed cases. This started in Piquesarco in the Toledo district and has spread across southern and central Belize. At the end of epidemiological week 24-25, June 14, 2025, or last Saturday, we had 35 communities affected in the Toledo district, 5 in the Stan Creek district, 29 communities in the Cayo district, 4 in the Belize district, and 4 communities in the Orange Walk district. The case distribution is as follows. Excuse me. Toledo, 90 cases. Stan Creek, 5. Cayo, 57. Belize district, 5. And the Orange Walk district, 2. Within the past 2 weeks, 2 cases have appeared in the Orange Walk district, and the epidemiological investigation is ongoing.
The primary focus, Belize's Chief Vet Officer Dr. Roxana Alvarez is now sounding the alarm about a sharp rise in cases among pets, especially dogs. As of June 14th, over 50 dogs have been affected, with 20 new cases reported in just the past month. What's even more alarming is that many pet owners aren't spotting the infestation until it's too late, when large, painful wounds have already formed. Authorities are urging the public to inspect their pets regularly and treat this pest with the seriousness it deserves.
Extremely concerning for us is that there is a marked increase in New World Screwworm cases in pets, particularly in dogs. On June 14th, we had 59 cases in cattle, 54 cases in dogs, 23 cases in pigs, 17 cases in horses, 5 cases in sheep, and 2 cases in goats. Of our 160 cumulative cases, 55 are active cases with wounds in the process of healing. Notably, in the past 4 weeks, we have had 20 new cases in dogs. Even more concerning is that the owners of these dogs seem not to be aware of when infestation occurs and only notice when there is a large gaping wound. We are calling on all pet owners to carefully inspect their dogs and cats as diligently as small stock and livestock producers are doing. The response from producers has been positive, and the spread of New World Screwworm in Belize has not been as significant as that of other Central American countries. We continue to urge producers, pet owners, and the public not to take this detrimental pest lightly.
Belize's sugar industry is facing a bitter blow this season as the impact of fusarium disease proves far worse than expected. Agriculture Minister Jose Abelardo May says the numbers tell a troubling story. Sugarcane production is down by over 140,000 tons compared to last year, and the country may not even hit the 900,000 ton mark. To make matters worse, The price per ton has plummeted, dropping from $87 last year to just $54 this season. That's a 25% decrease, translating to a staggering $53 million shortfall in revenue. With rains threatening to cut the crop season even shorter, the industry is bracing for a tough road ahead.
It is worse than we had expected. We monitor the reports of the production being delivered to the mill weekly, and we look at what is in the field. Just for you to have an idea, in 2024, the production estimate was 1.19 million tons of sugarcane. Our estimate this year was 1.045 million tons. So that's 145,000 tons less. That was estimate. That's estimate. But as deliveries continue, the cane delivered in 2024 last year was 1.043 million tons. So a million tons, wrong it after a million tons delivered last year. So to this year, we said that we could estimate, based on the assessment of field, 900,000 tons. Okay? So that's 143,000 tons less than last year. As of 6 o'clock this morning, the amount of sugarcane milled was 859,625 tons. So we haven't even reached the 900,000 ton mark. And I don't think that it may be easy to reach the 900,000 ton mark. So up to this morning, we're 859,000. If the rains continue for another 2 days, I don't think the crop will be able to continue. The estimate price per ton cane was $90.23. So I already see that's a drop of $25 there, price being paid. Okay, so from $87 last year to $54 this year. That's based on the last estimate. That's a 25% drop in price per ton. So in total revenue, last year, $163,551,000 was generated. Today, at 900,000 tons, again, which we will not reach, the total revenue is estimated at $110 million. That's a shortfall of $53 million.
The Trump administration's push for global tariffs is shaking up trade around the world. Countries are scrambling to respond without triggering a full-blown trade war. Back in May, the U.S. hit pause on tariffs for over 75 nations, giving them a 90-day window to negotiate. But now that grace period is closing fast. Earlier this month, Washington issued a new ultimatum: submit trade deal offers or face the tariff hammer. While the global economy holds its breath, Belize may have a bit more room to exhale. Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Christopher Coy, says CARICOM is in talks with the U.S. and Belize isn't expected to take a major hit.
What I understood in discussions with U.S. government officials was basically that we hold off until July. We basically sit tight until July as that 90-day period expires. That 90-day period was to provide an opportunity for the U.S. really to negotiate and seek to conclude arrangements with their main trading partners, the top 20 trading partners. Belize, or even Belize as a part of CARICOM, or the entirety of CARICOM, actually does not rise to the level of that top 20. So when that time comes, I believe it will be more a discussion between the U.S. and CARICOM, more so than just U.S. and Belize.
Schools may be out for the summer, but for 40 bright young minds across Belize, the excitement of a new academic journey is already in full swing. This morning in Belize City, the nonprofit organization Pathlight lit up the future for students at every level, primary, secondary, and even tertiary, by awarding them academic scholarships. But this isn't just about tuition, it's about transforming lives. With a focus on holistic support, Pathlight is helping these students not only succeed in school, but also build the skills they'll need to thrive in their careers. News 5's Brittany Gordon has the story.
For nearly 2 decades, one organization has been quietly transforming lives across Belize, one student at a time. Pathlight, a proudly Belizean-led nonprofit, has spent the last 18 years opening doors to education for students bursting with potential, but lacking the resources to reach it. But their mission goes beyond just getting students into classrooms. As CEO Luani Cayetano explains, it's about equipping them with the tools to succeed, not just in school, but in life.
We wrap them around with love and support to make sure that they stay in high school. And what does that mean? That means that we support with the tuition and fees, but we also make sure that they have the uniforms, the books, the backpack, food if they need it, because we know some of our households are really struggling when it comes to food. But then, you're in high school and your life becomes chaotic and your family might become a little bit chaotic. And so we give tutoring and counseling with the intention that if we wrap around this student with all this love and all this support, that they will thrive.
This year, Pathlight distributed 40 scholarships to students across Belize. At just 16 years old, Alexandria is already proving that hard work and determination can open doors. Fresh off her graduation from Palote High School, she's now a second-time recipient of the Pathlight Scholarship, a testament to her academic drive and the support that's helping her reach new heights. She is on her way to St. John's Junior College, where she will be majoring in biology and chemistry.
Everything has just been amazing, and it's an indescribable experience because, I'm not sure if you were listening to the speech earlier, but students don't only receive financial aid for high school, but we receive a multitude of different stuff. So here at Pathlight, we get tutoring, we get different, depending on your academic standpoint. Of course, that's what I said, the tutoring. You get a lot of mental, social, and psychological support here. So if you ever feel a little bit mentally drained, students at Pathlight have the opportunity to get counseling. We also have our own personal mentors who are basically our second parents here. We get to communicate with them in all matters. If you tell them, okay, maybe I'm struggling with school or struggling at home, they're not only here for school, they're here for everything.
The scholarship is highly competitive, as Pathlight conducts a thorough assessment to ensure that students have both high academic potential and high financial needs. After meeting those requirements, applicants are brought in for an interview.
At that stage, they get a reading assessment, a math assessment, and they have an interview with a panel. And from that, we determine who would be the applicant, who would be the scholars that we select for this year. When it comes to our tertiary program, our tertiary scholarships are for students existing in the program already. So our associate's degree scholarships are given to students who are graduating from high school this year, and our bachelor's degree students are our associate's degree students that graduated this year.
With nearly 500 graduates now proudly calling themselves Pathlight Scholars, the organization is creating a powerful network of educated professionals across Belize. Kaylin Hyde, who will be attending Edward P. York High School, hoped to become a pediatrician in the future.
I feel proud, glad, and happy that they chose me and to go into high school now, a Pathlight Scholarship. I'm proud that I have them to work along with me and my mother going into first form.
Is this your first time receiving the Pathlight Scholarship?
Yes, Mom.
So what was it like when you and your mom got the news that you got accepted and you're going to be receiving it?
I was very happy I went home and I tell everyone in the house.
The work of Pathlight is crucial, but it is not easy. The NGO invites all businesses and members of the public with a passion for education to reach out with potential partnerships so that they can continue giving the gift of learning for many years to come. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Up next, BDF cadet reps Belize in the battlefield of books in Taiwan.
How can a precision-engineered and sustainably made tire change your world? A tire that gives you strength and safety when you need it most.
What we learn on the track, we innovate.
For the road, bringing next-level quality and reliability to every drive. At GT, we believe our tires can deeply improve the driving experience for each and every one of us, whatever our goals. Enjoy driving. GT Tire.
Measles is a virus that is highly infectious and spreads through the air when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It often starts with a fever, cough, runny nose, and red, watery eyes, followed by a rash that spreads all over the body. Measles can cause serious complications. But here's the good news. Measles is preventable. The safest and most effective way to protect your child is through vaccination. The MMR vaccine is safe and available at your nearest health centers and clinics. Let's keep our families and communities safe. Get vaccinated. Stay protected. Brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness in partnership with PAHO and UNICEF.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
This summer, get ready to feel the heat, the beat, and the energy of Belize like never before. It's Summerfest 2025. Live performances from Belize's most talented kids. Come and enjoy food that sizzles and cold drinks for the kids. Cultural displays and loads of giveaways. Join us at Memorial Park in Belize City. See you all at 6:30 a.m. on June 20th for Summerfest 2025. Where summer comes alive!
Here's how to access your contribution history on the My Social Security portal. First, go to your browser and type ssbportal.org.bz. Enter your email and password, then click Log In. Once logged in, you'll see your full portal account on the screen. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a drop-down menu for added features. Click on History. Choose Contributions. Read the disclaimer, then click Continue. You'll now see a full window displaying your contribution history. In the table, each row represents a different year. For example, let's look at the year 2024. Click on the row and a detailed breakdown will appear. This breakdown includes your employer's name, your earnings for each month and week, contribution type, the amounts paid, and that's how you can explore the new contribution feature on the My Social Security portal. It's quick, easy, and keeps your Social Security information right at your fingertips. Create your account today.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
In our world that's always changing, one thing stays the same.
Our promise as Smart Belize to keep you connected.
Connected to the moments, the people, and the future that matter most.
With every new tower, our service upgrades, and every new smile, we're keeping our promise in building more than a network.
We're building a future, a family as Smart Belize. From Punta Gorda to Carnival, we are here not just as a network, but as your partner in progress.
We have grown significantly over the past 20 years, and we just keep growing. Thank you for placing your trust in us. We remain dedicated to providing meaningful connections that bring value in every way that matters to you. We continue to bring people together.
She's making waves from the other side of the world in Taiwan, proudly wearing her Belize Defense Force badge. In fact, many of you may have already seen her interview on social media, catching attention not for speaking Belizean Creole, but for confidently speaking Mandarin. That's 26-year-old Rivi Isigeri. She's been hard at work in Taiwan for the past 4 years, hitting the books military style. On Thursday, she officially received her undergraduate degree in foreign languages from the Republic of China Military Academy. And while she admits the journey hasn't been easy, she says it's been worth every struggle after the overwhelming support she has received from back home. We caught up with her earlier today to talk about her journey so far and what's next.
During my 4 years in Taiwan, what kept me motivated was the fact that I know that I am exactly where my dad wanted me to be, right? Because before he passed, he always wanted me to come to study in Taiwan. And he was the one who told me to go and apply in the BDF because I might get an opportunity to study abroad. So that was something that motivated me and kept me pushing because, of course, many times I felt like giving up. But then I say, hey, I am honoring my dad. I cannot give up. This semester was like 6 months. And then every summer and winter, we had training. And I did special force training, various weapon training, AMT1 training, and I was also one of the training officers for the recruit training that they had. Don't let fear hold you back, right? Because sometimes it might seem impossible. You might say, oh, I am just a young lady. You know, this training is too rigorous for me. But if you push yourself, then you will be able to see your true abilities. And my advice to young women who want to join and are afraid to join is assert yourself, because the BDF has a lot of opportunities and it's up to you to know how to take advantage of these opportunities. I hope that all of the women in the force can find that and use that to push them towards their best abilities within the force.
Rivi Isigeri is now entering the final leg of her studies as she prepares to take on her specialization course in the coming months. This means her stay in Taiwan will be extended by about a year more. With the golden anniversary of Belize's Carnival just around the corner, the National Celebrations Commission is stepping up in a big way. Today, the Commission made a special donation to the Carnival Association, marking the first major step in a collaborative effort to make this year's 50th celebration bigger and better than ever. Chair of the Commission, Francis Fonseca, says the contribution is the result of months of planning and partnership with Carnival leaders. And it's all about honoring the vibrant spirit and cultural pride that Carnival brings to the streets of Belize.
Today is really all about the Carnival Association and our commitment at the National Celebrations Commission to supporting the Carnival Association in their efforts to make the Carnival bigger and better than ever. This year, as you all know, we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Carnival in Belize. And so, you know, I think several months ago, I think at the beginning of the year, really, I think around January or so, I met with the president, Mr. Thompson, Patrick, and I met with as well Eugene Trench. So we had a very, very good discussion about what we wanted to do together, working together, the National Celebrations Commission and the Carnival Association. So I'm very happy that, you know, today is a realization of that discussion that we had, the first step in that process. So we're very, very pleased today to make this contribution on behalf of the National Celebrations Commission to the Carnival Association.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.